Hi, my name is Mayana and welcome to Myo Core, where I basically just talk about all of my interests on one channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about what is dark academia. So I have been into dark academia for some years now, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my superiority complex is definitely gonna jump out in this video because, and I'm not saying like I'm trying to gatekeep it or anything like that. I have been loving dark academia for the past 3 years now, and I noticed in the past year a lot of people have been getting into the genre, but people don't know what dark academia is. I watched a video, I want to say a year or something ago, and there was this girl and she was talking about what dark academia is. And I do want to preface that I am neurodivergent, so a lot of things, I'm a really picky person. I feel like that's why I kind of wanted to upload this video. So just a preface, like I want to put that out there. So I was watching this video and she was talking about what dark academia is, but it wasn't quite right. And she even recommended Knives Out for dark academia, and that just kind of bothered me for a long time because I'm like, Knives Out is in dark academia? Like, what? Like, people recommend things based off of vibes, and I'm like, even when I was looking up articles, like it's not just that video, even when I was looking up articles, I noticed that people were recommending things based off vibes, and I'm like, well, that's kind of gonna throw people off in the long run, because then when people who are just getting into dark academia, they are gonna be they're just gonna be like reading books that are vibes, and they're gonna think that's what dark academia is. So I am here to tell you guys what dark academia is based off of my research, and my research is me having loving dark academia for 3 years now. So, and I am going to give you some recommendations at the end, so stay tuned for that. Books, movies, and TV shows, so stay tuned for that. I kind of want to do more of these kind of videos, so if you like this video so that I can know, because I'm just testing out like what you guys may like or whatever. And I love I love watching these kind of discussion videos, so I figure why not make some of my own. So dark academia is a genre that has taken over the past couple of years. It is a small and niche genre. Well, it was a small and niche genre, but it has now taken off, and it's usually based off of the visual aesthetic, and it randomly got popular out of nowhere, which I love, because when I was into the genre, like there was only like 4 books out, and like I was just like, okay, like, well, where is everything else? Like, come on now. And so I'm actually very glad that people are starting to read dark academia, because now more authors are starting to write dark academia, and it's not like this niche genre where you only have 4 books and only 2 of them are good. What is dark academia? And this is not like, maybe I should let me Google it first, because before I give you my personal definition of what dark academia is, because I'm not trying to say that like what I have to say is law, and like, I mean, it should be, but so dark academia is a subculture with heavy emphasis on reading, writing, and learning. It is a look best described as traditional academic with a gothic edge. Think stubby brown cardigan, vintage tweed, a worn leather satchel full of a sack of books, dark photos, brooding portraits, and skulls lined up. Let me see. I hate that it talks about TikTok culture, because whatever, let me not even get into that. I'm trying to get into a meaning. Okay, so it is a literary and social media aesthetic and subculture concerned with higher education, writing / poetry, the arts, and Greek and Gothic architecture. The subculture is associated with ancient art and classic literature. I think there are 3 components that make dark academia, and I feel like as long as it has 2 out of the 3 things, then it is dark academia. If it doesn't, then it's not dark academia. Okay, so these 3 things are: it has to be set in a school. It cannot be dark academia if it's not set in school, hence the word academia. Dark academia must have murder or a secret society. So I mean, it should have like school, murder, secret society, but it's fine. Like if it has school and murder, it's fine. If it has school and a secret society, it's fine. But if it's just school, then it's not. It's like more so light academia, regular academia. If it has like a secret society and murder, then it's just secret society and murder. But like it has to have, in my beliefs, these are, and I should have probably started off with this, but I'm gonna say it now. These are all like more so in my opinion based. So like if I read if you recommend me a book and it's dark academia and it doesn't have any of those things, I'm gonna be like, okay, well it was more so light academia. Yeah, in the video I saw where it was talking about Knives Out, Knives Out is a murder mystery because it's not set place in school, and like yeah, people died, but it doesn't take place in school. It takes place in a nice big house, but that's just a murder mystery, you know. Maybe it's something people in dark academia would watch, but it's not dark academia. Now let's talk about small things in dark academia. So usually dark academia has drugs, sex, and alcohol, like a 1975 song. Characters are most likely studying Greek. They're either Greek or classic literature, but like what dark academia that I've noticed is usually Greek. Dark academia, the best dark academia is set in college. Like it's fine if it's set in high school, but the best is set in college. Dark academia is usually pretentious as hell, and also the genre tends to leave out people of color. It's usually a little, not that the genre is racist, but usually these authors, it doesn't have anything to do with people of color, which is ironic because people of color go to, like, usually it'll take place in like an Ivy League school, and like black people go to Ivy League schools, and like black people can be involved with secret societies. So, but I will say recently, because the genre, one thing I hate about niches is that it usually doesn't, none of the niches usually have people of color, or like it has like a few people of color, but once it gets popular it does include people of color. So I will say now that dark academia is becoming more popular, it does include people of color. I don't know why people assume that like people of color and black people specifically just can't be aesthetic, but it's something they believe. Like I hate whenever I'm like on Pinterest and I'm looking up a specific aesthetic. Like if I'm looking up, like my aesthetic is like fairycore and cottagecore, and yeah, there are black people, but like we don't get all the fun cool aesthetic pictures like the white girls do, and it really sucks. Like you really have to search through the depths of hell, especially to be like a darker skinned girl. Like if I want to make a Pinterest board and like it be like me, but like no, like you know, someone who looks like me and like has a skin tone like me, but like not necessarily my face, like a black girl holding a book, or a black girl holding someone's hand, or whatever it may be. It's so hard to find that in aesthetics for some reason, and maybe I'll make a separate video on black girls and aesthetics, because like for me, I love aesthetics and I have a Leo Venus, so for me everything is about aesthetics. And it's not like I go out of my way to be aesthetic. It's just, that's just how I am. Like everything is aesthetic for me, like, you know. But anyways, now we're gonna get into the shows, movies, and books. So first, I'm just gonna get movies out the way. There aren't a lot of dark academia movies that I've seen. With these recommendations, I want to recommend things that like I've seen or read, and so I don't have any dark academia movies that I've seen. There's probably like the Dead Poet Societies, but like I don't want to recommend something that I've never seen and like you guys watch it and it be a terrible movie. And like I know Dead Poet Society is a popular movie, but like what if I watch it and I hate it and I'm like, do I really want to recommend it to these people? Picture of Dorian Gray and Kill Your Darlings, which I don't know what that's about, but apparently it's dark academia. So, okay, and then with shows, I would say The Magicians. I love The Magicians. I love it. That actually started my dark academia obsession. It came out, like when it came out. So it's basically, and like I wanted to, like it's been so long since I watched the show, like I never finished it. I'm gonna finish it. But it's basically about this guy who's obsessed with this fictional world, and he takes this test, I think, to get into the fictional world, or he ends up in the fictional world. I'm describing this terribly, but it deals with like Greek mythology, and it's dark academia, and it's really diverse. Queen's Gambit, kind of. Okay, so does anybody die? Yeah. It's a very dark show. I am obsessed with the Queen's Gambit, and this is kind of contradicting myself. We all aren't perfect. This one is kind of vibes. I'm not gonna lie, because there's no like secret society and no one like dies. Like people don't, like, you know, like usually in dark academia, if it has to do with murder, the characters are murdering someone, or one of the characters get murdered. And no like important main characters get murdered in the show. Like no one really gets murdered. Like people die of like natural causes. But because it takes place in school and it's such a dark show and it deals heavily with drugs, and because it deals with like perfectionism, and like I love like a good prodigy story, I'm gonna contradict myself and recommend it to you guys. Like we all aren't perfect. Like come on now. Nola Holmes, I've never seen it, so I could be wrong here, but I love the vibes that it gives, and it has Henry Cavill, and like let me give that man his flowers. So I'm gonna recommend it. The Umbrella Academy. I love this show. This is a dark, it's like a different kind of dark academia because it doesn't really take place in the school, but they all live in a house and they all are like taught there, so I feel like that still counts. And then they are adults, but they go back to that house, and like it does have murder and it does have a secret society, so like it's like very loosely, like it's not set place in the school or anything like that. And then we have The Order, which is the most dark academia I can recommend you. Is it good? You'll be the judge of that. We all have our different strokes for different folks. We all have our different opinions. Like I stopped watching it, but like it kind of was good, but like I think it's probably canceled too. And then we have Deadly Class, which is also a graphic novel. That's why I read it. I never finished the show. It got canceled after season 1. But if you are a graphic novel girly, go on. And speaking of reading, let me recommend you some books. So Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, my favorite book of all time. This takes place in Harvard. It's about a girl who can see ghosts, which are greys, and it has a bunch of trigger warnings, by the way. It's about a girl who can see ghosts, which are greys, and she's working with this secret society. And then we have Daily Education, which is another favorite of mine. It takes place in a fantasy world where they're all in this school, and this school has like a bunch of like, you don't get any breaks. Like the school has like a bunch of like, there's no teachers, and you have to like, it's best to like have friends because monsters like to attack people when they're alone. And it's basically them surviving. It's a school of survival. Babel, which I have here, I haven't read it yet, but if you want, I was saving it for November because November to me is the perfect month for dark academia. So I was saving it for November so I can read it then. And I'm probably going to film a vlog. I don't know if I'm going to upload it because I'm not really on my booktube channel anymore, and like I don't know if anybody here would care, but maybe I'll upload it. The Secret History, very popular book, like come on. The Atlas 6, Bunny, that's a very popular book. It's about, I don't want to tell you what it's about, but a lot of people love Bunny. You could probably find a bunch of reading vlogs on it, but I don't want to like spoil it for you. It's best to go in not knowing anything. I don't like absolutely love it like everyone else, but whatever. The Maidens, a lot of people don't like this book, and then when I first read it, I loved it, but when I saw people's reviews, I was like, oh, okay, like that makes sense, like, you know. But I am learning to like not let popularity like affect my reviews because I actually love the book. So I went back and I changed my rating because I thought it was fun. It's about this woman who, her niece is at this school, and she her niece's roommate died, and then a bunch of other people start dying, so she goes to the school to like check out what's going on. And then we have Catherine House, which is written by a black author, but the main character is white, and it is about this school. It's about an Ivy League school, and the school is crazy. Like there's this thing called the Tower, where if you act out or whatever, or you don't get a certain amount of good grades or something like that, you will be put in the tower, and they have you butt naked just in there. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And like there's some experiments going on in the school, and it's just her like going through the years in the school. A very weird book. Ace of Spades, which is more so a black kind of get out thriller. It has to do a lot with racism, sadly. And then we have Vicious by V. Schwab, which isn't really dark academia, but it kind of is. And it's about these boys who are in the school and they're doing this science project, and they figure out that if you yourself, like almost, you can get superpowers. So there's one evil and there's one good, and like you don't know who to root for, and I really love that. And then the last is Gotham Academy. This is a graphic novel. It's set in like the Batman world because it's in Gotham, and I love this graphic novel. Like it was discontinued. It has a good amount of volumes, but it was discontinued, and that breaks my heart. And I feel like they could at least make a TV show out of it or something, because the material is there. And let me tell you, it gives. It gives. It's about this girl named Violet, and her mom is like crazy, and she's in this academy, and things just keep haunting her, and mischief keeps finding her, and she ends up becoming, it has a found family trope. My favorite kind of found family trope, where the characters all hate each other and they end up being put together to work for something, and they end up becoming best friends. Like, absolutely, I need somebody to write the book, make the movie, make the TV show. Like, the material's here. Like, let's get to it. And then I have a Dark Academia Spotify playlist that I will recommend, that I'll leave down below. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your favorite kind of Dark Academia piece. I probably could have talked about more so the aesthetics of Dark Academia. So if you want me to do that, I can. But I want to focus on like what Dark Academia is, because I feel like a lot of people are giving, like, saying what the vibes are or what the aesthetic is, and not like what it actually is. So when people want to like actually like read the media, or when people actually want to read it or watch it or consume it in any kind of way, like actually consume it, they usually are consuming what are vibes, and you're not actually getting like Dark Academia. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.